All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. At-large Cummins? Here. At-large Poston? Not yet.
Yes.
There he is. Ward 1 Walker?
Here.
Ward 2 Helm?
Here.
Ward 3 Johnston?
Here.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item is approval of the agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve by Cummins, seconded by Johnston.
Cummins? Poston?
Yes.
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Johnston?
Yes.
All right, communications. This portion of the agenda, there's no scheduled communications. Is there anyone present that would like to address the council? No? Okay, all right, we'll move on to consent agenda. These are routine items that will be enacted by one motion without separate discussion unless a council member requests separate consideration. Approval of the council meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2024. Approval of the airport minutes, November 19th, 2024. Approval of one-time water and sewer bill exemption for 707 West 9th Street, Lot 54. Approval of ice rink liners and windscreens for pickleball courts. There is a grant for the total of $5,980.35. Approval of the electrical portion of the garage build for the police department fleet. Approval of pay application number 19, replace Highway 38 South Street to Iowa 130, Triple B Construction for $283,098.60. Approval of the new lease rate for the electrical storage building at 55 Lynn Street, starting January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026. And then approval of the claims register, which includes claims paid under the current purchase policy. Any of those items need separate discussion?
I motion to approve. Second.
Okay. Motion to approve the consent agenda by Johnston, seconded by Helm.
Poston?
Yes.
Yes.
Helm? Johnston?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes. Okay. Next item under city business. First thing is the public hearing to amend the current budget. Need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Helm, seconded by Walker.
Welker?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Johnston?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
Poston?
Yes.
Is that you, Melissa?
As of close of business today, we didn't have any comments regarding the public hearing, but just to remind everyone what it is for. It is just to amend the budget to include some additional revenue that we've received for some grant proceeds, as well as federal funding for the Highway 38 project, and then some insurance reimbursements. And then the expenses mainly are adding expenses into a library fund 189, which is kind of the reserve fund. They didn't have a budget for that. We originally did the budget last year, so they were adding those expenses in there to be able to use some of that funding. And then sewer manhole replacements.
Any questions? Any motion to approve the amended budget? So motion by Cummins,
Yep. Second.
seconded by Walker.
Or third. Whatever.
Welker?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Johnston?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
Poston?
Yes.
Okay, no further discussion. Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Walker, seconded by Johnston.
Welker?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Johnston?
Yes.
Cummins? Poston?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the next portion of city business. First item is discussion and possible action concerning 509 to 511 Cedar Street and the possible need for further action. So if you all remember that this property had a most recent deadline of October 1st to meet the requirements set forth by the council in August, I think. Terry is here to discuss further action.
From the last couple months, not seeing any action. I guess what I would say is we need to go ahead and pursue more legal action. I got an email from Doug Herman, our city attorney, and we were talking, and he thinks we should go ahead and send one more letter for a short leash on it. And if we don't get any response, if he doesn't get us any estimates or anything, we need to go ahead and issue a municipal infraction.
We've heard nothing back from the Historical Society that was taken over on it.
I talked to the lady probably 2 weeks ago, and she hasn't heard anything from him either. I think the owner's dragging his feet. He isn't trying to get any estimates from any contractors. He says that every time he calls one that they won't talk to him. I tell you, I don't believe it. I think he just doesn't want to do anything. I think we just need to move ahead.
There is a contractor though that has looked at it, but has not gotten information from Bob that was requested to give an estimate.
Yeah, you know, I don't recommend, but I gave him some names of some contractors to go ahead and to get estimates, and one of them went through the building, and he's waiting on information from Bob, and that's been over a month ago. I just don't think he wants to do it. I think if we didn't do anything now, we'd probably sit here in there 6 months, we'd be back there talking about the same thing again. So I think we need to go ahead and, I guess, maybe take Doug's advice, send him one more letter, with a very short leash, you know, maybe a couple weeks, if that. And then if we don't get anything, and he doesn't propose anything, we issue a citation, give him court. I don't know what else to do.
Why do we think that a letter is gonna do anything?
That's just what Doug recommended. I'm on board with you there, Abby. I mean, I think, my opinion would be to go ahead and just issue a citation, be done with it. Let's get it in court, you know, I mean, that's the only way anything's gonna get done.
Do you think that recommendation had any consideration to the time of year? Because it's likely no contractor is gonna get up there and fix that during this time of year. I mean, there's potential weather.
First of all, to get a court date, it's probably gonna be a month. So now we're into January, February. Okay, and if he doesn't show up, if he goes to court, the judge is always gonna give him a couple months, 3 months to go ahead and get it done. So now we're into April. It's good to grow up in April. You know, they can do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the building. You know, it's vacant. And it rained inside that building for how long anyways? So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we need to move ahead, would be my opinion.
Your recommendation is to get one more letter?
That was our city attorney's recommendation. We were just talking back and forth through email or text message, I guess, whatever it was. And Doug says, maybe give him one more notice and order, you know, to abate. But it's entirely up to, you know, city council on what.
Did he suggest how long that abatement would be for?
No, he did not suggest that.
Okay.
But if we do go that route, I really think we need to do a short leash. We shouldn't give him much time at all.
I hadn't talked to Doug about the recommendation to do an abatement letter, but, you know, I think municipal infraction orders can be tailored to a situation, you know? So, I mean, let's say something came up before April. The magistrate can, you know, with the city's approval, can waive all or part of the charges except, or, you know, the money fees except for the court costs if compliance is reached by a certain date. So without talking to Doug and having an understanding of why he suggested a letter, I would be more on board with the municipal infraction. But maybe that's something we can sort out. If the council wants to pass this, and I think you probably should pass a motion to keep it going, you know, it might be subject to the final advice from the attorney after he's talked to us about it.
My motion would be to go ahead with the infraction and after discussion with Doug, unless he has a valid reason for why we should wait. But I think we should move ahead with the infraction, so that'd be my motion.
Second.
Okay, so you want the motion to state to move forward with municipal infraction per discretion of the city attorney and building official? So motion by Cummins, seconded by Johnston.
Did you say second by Johnston?
Mhm.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Bastian.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, next item under city business is resolution number 121624C. Resolution scheduling hearing on assessment of emergency utility repair work to sanitary sewer service line. Who's taking that one? You?
This is, sorry, this is, we were hand signaling.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, yeah. This is a resolution that Doug had to us before or after the packet had gone out. So this was substituted under the same resolution title as the one in the packet, but it's different in that it's setting a hearing, not a public hearing, but a hearing for your meeting on January 20th where Mr. Byrd can speak on his own behalf, or if he's hired an attorney, the attorney could do that. On our, we have Steve, who was dealing with him directly in the alley at the time, and anybody else that Steve can mention that also has knowledge of the situation. In a way, this is just tabling it until January 20th, where you'll do a hearing. And then after the hearing, the council can then decide whether or not you want to put the bill on his taxes or do something else.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Cummins, seconded by Helm.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Bastian,
Yes.
Welker,
Yes.
Helm.
Yes.
All right, next item is resolution number 121624A. Resolution amending the current budget for fiscal year ending June 30, 2025.
This resolution just goes with the public hearing that we just completed, so it would just be adopting the budget amendment.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Helm, seconded by Welker.
Cummins,
Yes.
Bastian,
Yes.
Welker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
All right, next is discussion and possible action concerning fiscal year 25-26 proposed budget schedule.
This is just a calendar of the upcoming budget timelines that will be happening mainly starting February through April. It lists our meetings. One thing to note is I've scheduled the budget workshop for February 13th. That would be at our normal 5:30 time here at the fire station. The other things are also publications, when you see it in the paper, when you have to have requirements to the auditor. So if you could take a look at this, and right now this is the pending schedule. If there's a conflict with that, if you could let me know very soon, so we can get that adjusted, I would appreciate it.
I'll make a
Would-
motion.
Oh, okay.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Cummins, seconded by Walker.
Bastian,
Yes.
Welker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
Okay, next is resolution number 121624B, resolution to assess utility charges due to non-payment by property owner.
This is just requesting to put the $4,243.67 on the property taxes of this
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Cummins, seconded by Helm.
Walker,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Hodgson.
Cummins,
Motion for the, oh, yeah, I did, I motioned.
Cummins and Helm, right?
Yes.
That'll work. I think Hodgson left.
Yeah, I think we just lost question. Okay. All right, next is resolution number 121624D. A resolution accepting the completion of the industrial feeder project and approving change order 1 through 4 and release of retainage.
Yeah, John can report on this more if you'd like, but the project is complete and been recommended as such. John, do you want to mention anything more?
No. The computers we're wanting to test, just to make sure all our new equipment is responding to it. That's all checked out, so, yeah, perfectly happy with the entire computer project. Any questions on it?
Motion. Second.
Okay, motion by Helm, seconded by Walker.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes.
Hodgson,
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
All right, next is discussion and possible action concerning the issuance of a request for proposals for the construction of a 1 megawatt solar array for the electric utility.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time. And between John and Melissa and Maggie Berger and me and various people we've contacted for advice, I think we've taken the structure of how to go out for proposals as far as we can. And I'm hoping council will agree to issuing this request for proposals. And so we could see what one of these 1 megawatt arrays, solar arrays will cost. Without taking the step, we just won't know. We've heard different estimates from different vendors. We've ran financials at different sale points, price points. And coming in late to this was the manager of Farmers Electric Co-op in Kelowna. That was a big help to us because it kind of settled the structure of how to do this RFP in my own mind. And the contract that the first part of it is bidding front pages that I've used for a number of years. The exhibit to the RFP, which will eventually be the lead document if this all happens, is almost all the exact wording from the contract that Farmers Electric signed. And hopefully we get the type of bid that they did, because at 1.2 million, that would just make all the financial sense in the world. We have the name of the vendor that did their project, so they will be among those that we would send this to. But my thought would be to send it to some of the vendors that we've talked to in the past, and then post it on the League of Cities website, which a number of different vendors and engineers and cities look at regularly. And we would be giving almost the entire month of January to get back to us. I think I made them due on January 29th. And if the response is clear cut enough, I could bring it first time for a council consideration at your first meeting in February. I think it's February 2nd. Just to find out finally what one of these would run us. I'd like the council to consider giving approval, and like with any project, in the end, you have control over whether or not you want to reject all bids or take one that you think is in the best interests of the city.
You're just asking to step forward, go looking at the project, correct? Set up the RFP.
Yep.
Okay. No financial burden to the city for this one.
Nope,
All right.
not at this point.
I don't see any problem looking forward.
What's the payback on it in years roughly?
Well, it depends on what it comes in at.
Well, use your number.
Well, the maximum scenario that I would look at with the numbers that we've looked at was this 1.75 million. That would suggest a revenue bond of 17 years, which is a couple of years longer than you'd like to. But still, the thing that our financials are doing is, in every scenario we've looked at, I've tried to keep the amount of annual debt at 140 or less, which if we can do that, we make something every year. Revenue minus debt service, we would make something every year. If we could get it at what Farmers got it at, anywhere near that, it would be a slam dunk. I hate to say it.
And how long do they last?
We were told that, well, one piece of it that's in the financials is changed out. I think it's after 15 or 17 years. What?
15 years roughly for the inverter.
The inverter?
Yeah.
But what I've heard most as far as the panels goes is 25 years.
And what's their efficiency rating of the panels?
Oh, I would imagine it's, depends on the manufacturer of the panels.
I just heard they're not extremely efficient, down in the 30s and 40% efficiency rating, and I'm just wondering if that's true today or whether that's just old information from days gone by.
That sounds like old information.
Okay.
We find out more proceeding with the next part of it.
Yeah, one of the things that's part of the RFP is for them to tell us for our site and our size array, how many kilowatt hours they think they're telling us that the array would create in a typical year. Well, that's the main thing one of the main parts of the formula tells us, what we could expect to make. And then the other efficiency thing that I remember having to do with anything was they look at it losing 2% per year for
1
its,
to 2%.
yeah, for its efficiency.
Okay. Motion.
Motion by Welker, seconded by Johnston.
Johnston? Austin?
Yes.
Welker?
Yes.
Helm?
Okay, last item under city. 121624E, resolution approving the fiscal year 2026 capital improvement program and airport improvement data sheets.
Yeah, and we're required by the FAA to pass one of these in December of every year. And what it does, it tries to look forward in what we're planning to do so that if that in fact happens, they have funding programmed for it. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. They just want to know what our possibilities are. So in this one, in their FY26, we're in their FY25 right now. That goes until September 30. So their FY26 would begin on October 1. We're looking at the possibility of one of the land acquisitions to happen. And again, may not, and it hasn't so far, but if it does, you got to have it in the plan. So that's what we're doing.
Motion to approve resolution.
Second.
Okay, motion by Helm, seconded by Welker.
Cummins,
Yes.
Poschin,
Yes.
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
That concludes city business. Next is reports from department heads, city manager, council, or mayor. Department heads, Lisa?
Two things. First thing is David Bisbee would like to do the fireworks on New Year's Eve behind the Hope Church, which is up on London Street. He's done it the last 2 years. There isn't an actual form, and he's abiding by the code that you can have fireworks that is within the time frame. It would be between 5 and 10 minutes. He's certified. He has a safety plan in place. And he's asking permission, and I told him that I would come to you guys and let him know what his plan is. Anybody has any?
No, he did that before.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Okay. I think one of the things we want to mention is he is a licensed shooter. You know, I don't want to give the
Yeah, I know.
impression that anybody can go
Well,
to.
so is.
He's licensed in pyrotechnics.
So is our
Let's
chief of
let's
police.
clarify
All
that.
right. Shooter.
That sounds better licensed shooter. I guess.
Okay, all right.
He's not a Jason Bourne.
No,
So if
no,
you
neither
guys
am
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
We had,
I. Oh, I know, that's fine.
I told him that I would back him if there was any concern, but otherwise, in case somebody contacts you, we usually get a couple phone calls.
you don't need to write that.
Okay. And the last thing is, we're going back to the one-way street by the high school. 2 weeks ago, we had 3 different people go the wrong way. There was an activity going on. I believe it was a middle school. Okay, basketball game. And they were all from not Tipton. So then last week, we also had somebody else not from Tipton, same thing. The officer told them they were going the wrong way. Did they not see the signs? They told the officer, well, MapQuest sent me this way. So we did, we hadn't been told that before. And in the last 4, and I think we've even got a couple early ones that were out of town. They're going the wrong way. So we contacted MapQuest to let them know, hey, do not send people the wrong way. They said it could take 2 to 3 months to get that changed in their system. So just so you know, we are still monitoring it. We are still talking to people, but MapQuest is really the bad guy in all of this.
Can I add something to that? So last Thursday night, the elementary kids had a school concert. And it was ironic timing that Terry and I happened to be crossing the street by the circle.
Yeah.
And we had to stop traffic because somebody was coming up the hill and somebody was coming the other way. So we had to back up the car that was coming up the hill. So the other car, because people were parked in the circle, had enough room to make the swing to turn around and go back the way that they were supposed to be going. And of course, there's people walking all over the place. But I did, that same night, actually received an email from the resident that addressed the council previously with complaints of ongoing issues with the traffic on Walnut Street. Is that the street going
And
up,
I
not the one way?
I
Yeah.
try to keep track. It is August, or whenever, I don't know when the first one was. Yeah, August. We've had, aside from the 4 that were all out of town people.
And this person going the wrong way was actually a Tipton resident.
Yeah. We've had-
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A Tiptonite?
Yeah, it
Or a
was.
Tiptonian?
It was. Because I kind of did the, what are you doing? Really?
Prior to that, we had,
Might have been more in that tone.
oh no, so we had 4 prior to this last round of 4 people. And I don't know if, I think we asked the school. They could put something out to the parents to remind them. People are lazy and people just want to do what they want to do. And they've been tickets.
Yeah. Do we have, and I know you are aware of what's going on at the school, but do we have like school events on patrol calendars that maybe they Could be because
They are
a
posted
bigger, okay.
on the refrigerator, all kinds of events. The guys know about it, and it's also on the. So, yep.
I'll say I've seen the increased presence of the school and people out there. So
Yeah.
doing what you can. I know it's
I have
It's-
too. I've seen it on Steam. Gone by before.
Yeah.
lots of things happen when the cops aren't around, right?
Well, and they can be everywhere at once.
But
Yeah.
we are trying to also get, at least for the out-of-town people, get MapQuest to
Did you-
make the change.
Did you by chance like GPS it or anything with your phone and see what they did? Like if you're,
Yep,
Mom taught you,
MapQuest tells
did
you
it-
to go the wrong way.
did any of the others, like what else is there? Google Maps?
Google Maps is the right
Like,
way.
did you check any of those
Use
others?
Google.
Just
Let me
curious.
check with a couple of the guys they may
Just
have,
curious if they
but,
do that or-
yes, like who still uses MapQuest?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I was thinking,
Who's
but I would.
writing this
Doesn't-
down and saying turn left?
doesn't the DOT send out a map every, for you to
think?
correct streets or?
I don't have a lot of OT in their routing of traffic. So
Well,
It
what-
caused so much chaos.
well, what they always told me, their map is the basis for what GPS uses. And there were years where I used to do it previous to Tipton, and there were years where it took me 3 or more years to get them to change things that were wrong, but finally they do.
Even the Highway 38 project was never changed with certain detours.
Oh, I don't,
So I don't know. I'm so frustrated because we were trying to get the traffic to stop going on Main Street.
yeah, and I don't know about for detours. I just mean the annual map is meant for like permanent street situations.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But that's just an update on our ongoing one-way traffic.
Brian, Steve, do either of you have anything? No? Anything else, John?
You guys know what I've sent out. so
Okay.
talk later.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have anything else? No? Melissa? Nope. Okay. The only thing I was going to mention is just a reminder to the council to check your emails. There are a couple of emails out there, I think, that we would like to have a response from you on. So if you haven't done so, please do that. Everybody's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
We're gonna do this during class or we're gonna do this?
No, I'm just,
We're gonna give up.
just, you know, before like next council meeting, check your emails, please.
I'm teasing. I didn't think it was funny.
That's all I have. That's all right. That's all I have. And Merry Christmas, because we won't have a meeting before Christmas, right? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion. Oh.
Motion by Welker, seconded by Cummins.
Bastian,
Yes.
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Cummins.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.